The Great Loop and family travel is more than just an adventure. It's a classroom on the water and wherever you go. So imagine discovering history, wildlife, and science with your family at every stop you make. Hi, Alison here from Loop Life Academy, where we help families like yours blend adventure with learning while cruising America's Great Loop. Today, we're going to dive into something really special, the top educational stops that you don't want to miss while you're traveling. This episode will guide you through some of the best learning opportunities along the loop, which is perfect for homeschoolers or any family looking to enrich their journey, or maybe nomadic RV routes, or even just family vacations. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore how you can turn your Great Loop adventure into the ultimate learning experience for your kids. Our first favorite stop for education and just great experiences at wherever we are is to look for national parks. Many national parks and historical sites offer junior ranger programs. Junior ranger programs are at the national parks. They're usually an interactive booklet that will guide kids of all ages. We've talked to some junior rangers that are in their 90s, that it'll guide them through the fun activities that teach them about the local history, wildlife, and geography that are featured at that national park. So when we arrive, we go and find one of the park rangers, and they'll point us to where we can get a booklet. And it's usually got maybe 10 pages or around that. And they usually ask the kids to fill out 5 so they can pick and choose which activities will best be suited for them, and then go explore throughout the displays and all of the information and fill it out. And then they'll go over that with a ranger to earn their junior ranger badge. Some of our favorite national parks that we visited along the Great Loop, one of them was Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial. That's in Put-in-Bay in Lake Erie. That national park did a really great job showing how the battle with the ships worked, and how it was won, and what had to fall into place for it to work the way it did. We also really liked Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina. We actually didn't take the ferry out to the fort itself, but the National Park Visitor Center has a lot of great information, and we were able to do almost all of the junior ranger activities at the visitor center, and so we were able to earn our badge even though we didn't go to the fort itself. And then, of course, there's always Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty in New York. That has some great information and great activities for the kids to fill out and earn their junior ranger badge. So as we go to the national parks, not only do your kids learn about these places, but they'll get badges. Usually they're a little wooden badge with a pin on the back, and those are perfect as mementos. We have fabric banners that we collect pins on, so we usually also get enamel pins when we're at the park. And national parks also have what's called a national park passport, and you can get a stamp with the date and the location of the park that you visited. So there's lots of different things you can collect while you visit national parks, but the Junior Ranger programs are a great way to get in some educational material and lessons that are just a lot of fun and very interactive and prepared for kids, which is awesome. Hi there, parents and fellow adventurers. Are you looking for a simple way to turn your travels into an exciting learning opportunity for your kids? Whether you are on America's Great Loop, you are traveling in an RV, or just love exploring new places as a family, I've got something just for you. I have created a powerful yet really simple tool called the Focus Framework for Homeschool on the Go, and it's designed to help you plan spontaneous, engaging lessons no matter where you are. So imagine arriving at a new destination and instantly finding fun, educational ways to connect your kids with their surroundings. In my free workshop, I'll teach you how to easily create lessons that are hands-on, multi-subject, and are tailored to your kids' interests, all with the focus framework for homeschool on the go. Plus, I'll give you some free downloadable worksheets to help you get started right away. So if you are ready to make learning a seamless part of your family's travels, just go to the link below. That's looplifeacademy.com/focus and drop your email, and I will send you a link to this free workshop and all of the free resources. Let's make every stop an adventure they'll never forget. Back to the episode. Our second favorite type of educational stop are looking for historical markers and interpretive signs. These are one of the easiest on-the-go learning experience that happens through the countless signs you're going to find at parks, marinas, towns, and different sites along the loop. In Southport, North Carolina, there were signs along the waterfront that taught us about how the riverboat pilots guided blockade-running steamboats through Cape Fear Shoals during the Civil War. We also learned about popular architecture from signs on Cumberland Island in Georgia when we were looking for the wild horses. And we learned more about architecture when we were in Sarasota, Florida, visiting the Ringling. So we saw lots of different signs about that type of thing. In Crystal River, we found signs that explained what the springs were, when and why manatees were present there, and more about other local wildlife. So you'll find signs about historical events, battles, wildlife, and a lot of signs now also include QR codes that you can scan with your phone for more information or interactive apps. There has been more than one town where we even found there was a set of audio recordings that you could access through an app or download for your own walking tours throughout the town. It's kind of like an audio tour when you're in a museum, but instead you're just walking around town with your own phone. So use these moments and these signs to create mini lessons when you see them. If your kids are on the go and they can't be bothered to read a sign or let you read the sign, take a quick photo of it with your phone and look at it and the videos or resources that you can find about that topic later. This is especially helpful if you're going to be in that area for a couple of days and want to look into it a little bit more, or maybe it's just a topic you think might be interesting for you or your kids. I also recently found a website called the Historical Marker Database. That's hmdb.com, and you can use that site to look up historical markers or even add historical markers for the area that you're in or do more research. And that's a really interesting way to find some of these signs if you're not sure where you might find them. But it's really easy to stumble into them just as you're walking down the street, you'll notice them. Our third favorite educational stop along the loop is looking for museums and nature centers. There are a lot of towns along the Great Loop that have local museums that highlight regional history, marine biology, or ecology. Nature centers can offer that up-close look at wildlife that your family might encounter while cruising. And also, I want to say, don't forget the gift shop in these places. Definitely go check them out. A lot of them are really interesting maritime museums or other types of museums. But if you go to the gift shop, you'll find all kinds of books and resources there that are specific to those location-based topics. Those are really great resources to at least get an idea of what types of topics you might want to cover for homeschooling in addition to what you're seeing at the museum, and maybe some neat book ideas that you can do for just fun reading or a unit study or something like that. Some of our favorite museums, I'm going to give you a small list here. There are so many that we found along the loop, but the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum in St. Michael's was an early favorite for us. It taught us a lot about the oystering industry and the impact that it had on the oysters and how they have shrunk in size and in population. We also really love the Calvert Marine Museum in Solomons. That one's just really fantastic. You can go up into a lighthouse and you can see the different log canoe style boats that they have, in addition to a lot of really interesting fossils and fossil information from the Calvert Cliffs. So that's a fantastic one. Visit that one if you're in the Solomons. We also really liked Lockport's Erie Canal Discovery Center. That's all about the Erie Canal. I know not all loopers make it into Lockport because it's all the way to the end of the Erie Canal, but that one was a really fun one and gave us a chance to be virtual lock operators. We also really love the Nauticus and the USS Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia. So those are all great museums. There's tons more, but you will find lots of museums, and there are different reciprocal programs or memberships that you can join that might give you discounted or free access to some of those museums, depending on what types of museums you like to visit. So definitely look into what some of those options might be. A few of our favorite nature stops, because there's also a ton of nature stops. The Freshwater Pearl Museum and Farm in Tennessee. That was a lot of fun. It is a little bit off the beaten trail, but very accessible by water and was a really interesting history there. The hot springs and manatees in Crystal River. We ended up spending a lot of time in Crystal River, and it was well worth it. We really made the most of our time getting to learn about manatees, and we watched a lot of videos and we read a lot of signs. And then also the Dismal Swamp and the trails and nature center there. Lots of nature. I think when we were cruising up the Dismal Swamp, we saw a deer, a black bear, a number of turtles, and some fantastic birds. As a bonus favorite educational stop, I have to mention local libraries. Libraries are a fantastic stop. They often offer free events and resources for kids and adults, and many have children's sections that have interactive learning areas too. Many of the libraries that you might visit also have a section of books that showcase their local area. So look for it or ask the librarians, because they will love to hear about your adventure, for one, and they are happy to tell you about their city and what's great about it. One example of this that I remember was in Key Largo. The library not only had a section for Florida-focused books, but it had a really fantastic seashell collection that was cataloged and on display. So we could open up all of the little drawers and see the different shell types. And that was just a lot of fun because we really liked going to the beach and looking for shells in the places we visited as well. As a little bonus tip here about the libraries in the Florida Keys, they are all in the same county. They're all part of Monroe County, which means as a non-resident, you can still purchase a library card for a very small, reasonable fee, and that gives you access not only to their digital resources, but also gave us the ability to check out books from any library in the Keys and then return those books to any other library in the Keys. So if we picked up books in Isla Mirada, we could drop them off in Marathon or in Key Largo, which was really nice. Let's review our key points. First, we talked about national parks and the junior ranger programs there. Take advantage of the junior ranger programs along the loop. They are free, they are great activities for the kids, and that's something that you can get a keepsake to take home with you. Second, we talked about looking for historical markers and interpretive signs. Stop and learn from those many historical markers at parks, marinas, sidewalks. They're everywhere. So take a minute to read them, or at least snap a quick picture and look at the information on it later. And then third, we said another favorite educational stop along the loop was stopping at museums and nature centers. Exploring the local museums, nature centers, and then also, as the bonus, the libraries. That really can enrich your family's journey, because museums and nature centers especially are really good at that hands-on immersive learning. So definitely take the time as often as you can to visit some of those. If you'd like more tips on how to turn any destination into a learning opportunity, I'm hosting a free workshop just for homeschool and nomadic families. We'll cover how to create a mini lesson plan from wherever you are, and the link is going to be in the description below. I'd love to hear what's been your favorite educational stop so far on your journey. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment below and share your experience with me and for the others who are watching or listening. Thanks for joining us today. If you're inspired to start planning your own family Great Loop adventure, be sure to check out our other resources at looplifeacademy.com and stay connected for more tips, stories, and inspiration. Until next time, happy looping.